Check 1, 2.
There you go.
Live from New York.
All right, ready?
Welcome to Heinz Field.
Yeah, I'm good.
All
I
right,
love
ready?
when he does that. Yeah.
Cool.
Are you ready, John?
I'm ready. All right, ready?
Should we be? Can you? You don't see the trunk, right?
I want it open like a tailgate.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool. All right, we good?
I'm good.
All right.
The only bad thing about Larry Richert picking this location is it's super windy, and I haven't had my gray hair touched up yet. I can see
It
it.
looks good. I can't see it from here.
You can't see it from over there. That's
I'm
all. Larry.
colorblind.
Oh, great.
I didn't know that about me.
Great. I didn't know that about you, but listen.
But the good news is
I
Larry
dropped
had
the word
his
Larry
gray hair
Richert.
touched up.
Yeah.
You could tell in your person. Yeah.
But how about I drop the name Larry Richert? Let's talk about how the folks at Toyota were like, wait, who are you interviewing?
Yeah.
And we had to stop for about 10 minutes with Jason over there and talk about how great Larry is. We did. That's no lie.
Well, that was very kind.
Yeah, he
And
said.
it was total Pittsburgh too, because he's like, well, my grandfather.
Yeah.
You know, as everybody knows, everybody knows somebody that knows Larry Richert. You know.
Oh, wow.
So
when you
John,
started
you
out.
came out swinging. Wow. You jag off.
I was buttering him up, and you came in and just foiled it all. Listen, we love Larry, as we know, and
Right.
any reason to talk to him is a good reason. So we brought a 2021 Venza to come meet him in the parking lot of the Boathouse in North Park. It's beautiful out, right?
So listen, this is really the first time we've actually tailgated that actually had almost tailgate weather, because they've all been very sunny. But this is the 2021 Venza.
It's cute,
and you can go see Jason Hudson at Rohrich Toyota, because this is a rebranding of an older model.
Yeah.
And I can tell you all of the models that we've driven. We like the Highlander. But this one right here, boom. This one
I'm with
is
you.
the car.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
And no better than to talk branding with the guy from KDKA, which is celebrating 100 years.
Right. The Venza is not 100 years old, Larry. So.
And neither's Larry.
No, I'm working on it.
Larry, how exciting that next week literally marks the time that we've talked about all year. You know, there have been little events and obviously put on hold, but there's been topics and verbiage about the fact that KDK is 100. How cool is that?
I think it's amazing being born and bred a Pittsburgher, as you know.
Yeah.
I used to get up for school, and my parents had a kitchen radio. They would do the crossword puzzle, drink coffee, and listen to Jack Bogut.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd sit by the heat, the vent for the furnace in my pajamas, kind of like now. I kind of wish I was there now. And my parents, just listened, and then John Cigna.
Right.
So Bogut was here for 15 years, Cigna for 18, and then I took over just after September 11th.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize
And then
that.
my parents, who are both gone now, but they lived long enough where they were in the kitchen doing the crossword puzzle, listening to me.
How cool
And
is
my
that?
mother would say, they said, and I'm like, Mom, that was me. She goes, oh my God, it was you. You're one of them. I'm like, I guess I am one of them. I'm not they. I'm not all of they, but I'm a one.
You're
I'm
a they. Yeah.
But the history for the region of KDK and everything that's emanated from broadcasting is pretty amazing.
Oh, no doubt about it. And just the people that have, I know the hallways are different, it's a different building, but the people that have walked the hallowed hallways of KDKA, when you think about, where it's all been. But take us back to, I know you weren't there 100 years ago, but what kind of indoctrination goes on when you come to work at KDKA? I remember you rolled your motorcycle in and you took over for John Cigna, but prior to that, is there...
Fat boy.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, so they had this idea that whoever would replace Cigna would be a Harley Davidson rider and an Italian American.
Oh.
So somebody said, well, you're not either. I go, I Harley ride and I married an Italian American.
It was good enough, Larry.
That was close enough.
Yeah.
So the idea was to roll up and, hey, surprise, because I was already on TV as the weather guy at KDK TV for 10 years. But I've been with KDK Radio and TV for 32.
Wow.
So a third of KDK Radio's existence, I've been there. And I was the last disc jockey to play music.
Really?
Before it went all talk and
Okay.
news. And it was Don McLean's American Pie. the day the music died.
Oh.
In fact, I killed the music on WTAE radio so far back they don't even have WTAE radio.
Killed it.
That's a whole other tailgate.
But, so they asked me when I was on TV, John Cigna's going to retire. Would you be interested? And I'm like, absolutely. It's like a dream job.
Yeah.
And people said, why would you give up TV
Right.
for radio? And I
Right.
thought, wow, this is one gig that if you had the chance, that question's only going to come once in a career.
Yeah.
That's so true, Larry.
I was worried, how am I going to follow John Cigna? It was his own personality,
Sure.
How are you going to, not be, hey, you're not John Cigna.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 5 days after they announced that I was taking over riding in on the motorcycle, September 11th happened.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was all about news and business and
Sure.
taking care of.
It's kind of like a
stuff.
restart button at that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
So I purposefully didn't take a day off for 6 months because I wanted to just be there every day.
Yes.
So when people put the radio on, so I'm going into my 20th year.
We're all trying not to shiver. Larry's in his swanky intercom
He's
gear.
so, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But listen, and I know you're not going to agree with this, but what happened between you and John Cigna is literally what will happen after you as your successor comes in, because you truly are that voice. I mean, we know you're the voice of the Steelers, ish.
At the stadium.
At the stadium. I mean, people hear you and it's like, oh, it's that guy, and you do obviously other commercial work and things like that, but you have this iconic command of the airwaves that's iconic to KDKA, because let's face it, they were the first. And that's amazing that we hold that here in Pittsburgh.
I think the whole region should love that. It started by Westinghouse Electric.
Yeah.
And they didn't know what a big deal it was going to be.
Right.
Before going viral was viral, KDKA Radio, because within 2 years, there were 500 stations
Right.
around the
Wow.
country.
Yeah.
And now, as we start our next century, we've added 100.1
Yep.
FM.
Yeah.
Yes.
So now it's FM, AM, radio.com, the free app,
Right.
Yeah.
where you guys have
Sure.
a
Yeah.
lot of your great stuff, all of your great stuff.
Yeah.
Some of the marginal stuff is there
Really
too, quite
good
frankly.
That was before me.
Right.
KDKRadio.com, so we're on
Yes.
every platform. The bottom line is you got to deliver the local news and information
Yeah.
and keep doing that.
Yeah.
But the way people get it has changed.
For sure.
But amazing, after a century, we're still here. So, yeah, I think it's
Tell
pretty
him the fun fact that you were telling us today when we were getting the vehicle about cell phones and the transmitter radio.
I was reading the article about how they're recreating the shed and everything's
I
going to
was
happen.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they're talking about where
transistor radio.
The radios are really not out of vogue because there are 4 radios inside your smartphone or something
right.
like that.
How about that?
That was Rick
How
Harris.
about this? Yeah, 100 years later, your $1,000 iPhone is now a transistor radio because
Right.
you download that free app and listen to the radio
Yeah.
on this device.
Full circle,
Well,
yes.
younger people don't know. We used to go crazy to buy a little transistor so we
Absolutely.
could listen to music.
Yes.
Right.
For sure.
And you use the 9-volt battery in there or to test it on your tongue, if you remember that.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Wow.
So, Larry, what is happening? So next week,
Yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, the election day is the celebration, but what is all happening with
Well,
you guys?
For Monday, we have a bunch of some of our characters that have gone beyond their voices. And the minute you hear them, it takes you back.
Yeah.
It's like a day hasn't gone by.
Sure.
Hansberger, Pintech, Cigna, Bob Koppler, Bill Steinbach, just a lot of names that people who've been around a while would know. Some new people. When I say new, it's like, oh yeah, 20 years ago. Some of the newer people.
Right.
But so you'll hear on our birthday the sounds of KDK, and then the election day is the next day. So
Right.
that's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Who knows what happens
Is
next?
there cake? Is there cake in the break room at all? There's no break room.
Is there 100 of
Right now.
Yeah, there's no break room.
Normally we'd have a nice cake.
Yeah.
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 A really nice
Oh,
cake.
you bakers
someone
out
deliver
there.
a cake to Larry. Larry.
John,
Yeah.
we're going to have to do it. Let's be the ones to deliver him a cake.
Oh,
All we ask is just one candle.
Just one.
yeah.
Right.
Because that would be But I actually interviewed a woman named Lucy Trecacy a couple of years ago. She lived to be almost 113.
I remember you told us this story. I love it. I was going to prompt you.
She remembers, because it was such a big deal with her dad, to listen to the elections on their radio in the house from Foxburg, which is up near Emlenton and Clarion.
Yeah. How about that?
That's crazy.
But to know that you really held the first broadcast, like you were saying, they didn't even realize that's what was happening. You know, tell the story briefly, though, so that people who don't understand how it really came to be about the election. And, God, Larry, you could do it from the shed, right?
Yeah, so I was out at the recreation of this shack just in East Pittsburgh near Westinghouse, and they have this huge area where they used to manufacture big generators, electric, and all kind of stuff. Dr. Frank Conrad was one of their engineers, and he was, as we say in Pittsburgh, putzing with this radio in his garage.
Right.
You know, and he would crank up the Victrola and play music and then ask people, because there were like almost like ham operators out there, to send in a postcard. Let me know where you're picking us up. And finally, somebody at Westinghouse said, Frank, what are you doing? He goes, I'm doing this radio. And they go, what good is that going to be?
Right.
And then someone said, wait, Harry P. Davis was his name. He worked at Westinghouse. He said, wait a minute. Let's manufacture receivers. We can sell them. But in order to sell them, we have to have some programming to offer them. So what's the biggest thing of 1920 was the presidential election.
Right.
So we'll set it up to give them the returns. So they got this little shack on the roof of one of the Westinghouse buildings.
Wow.
And they started from ticker tape, and they were plugged in with the newspapers. And, of course, it didn't sustain talking all night, so they cranked up the Victrola, played some music, and then they had banjos.
Wow.
So I'm thinking I should have a banjo Monday.
Right.
But at Edgewood Country Club, they had a listening party. So they set up a speaker, and this is when the first, and it still lasts to this day, phone call came to KDKA. Hey, Yins are playing too much music. Seriously.
Are you kidding me?
Night number one, they got the first complaint call. Fortunately, there wasn't texting or email
I love it.
or Twitter or TikTok.
Yeah.
But really, you can go all the way back to that moment, because once people realized we could get news about the Depression that came at the end of that decade, then World War II, imagine, you know, and then TV kind of took off really after World War II. But up until then, radio plays, the first football game, first baseball game, first World Series, first symphony orchestra live, first church service, all on KDKA.
Amazing. Wow.
That's, I forgot about the church service thing. That's awesome.
And like you said, the interesting part to me is that's what we're reliving now, right? Everything, because of COVID, we've all sort of figured out how to do all these things
You kind of hit the reset button on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And a lot of things we all took for granted you don't take anymore.
That's it.
And here we are still broadcasting and bringing people every day. What's the latest? What's going on? This doctor said that. This politician said that. This guy said this. We're doing this. Most importantly, what them Steelers do. I love it that they're undefeated and people are still going, yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, but you don't know what? They haven't lost a game. They're undefeated. Yeah, but that's not going to last.
Yeah.
Well, Larry, I know you're shivering.
No,
I'm really warm now.
We have the Toyota Venza sitting over there, 2021. It's running. It's a hybrid. We know you're a big talent, and we have your trailer.
It is not to get the heat, right?
We have your trailer over there warming up with your catering. So we appreciate. So before we always have a prize at the end of this. So Rachel's going to tell you about that. But what's your favorite tailgate food?
Favorite is Italian sausage. Hot
sausage. Bernie Ritchie's.
On the grill.
On the grill.
You know, that's funny. I've been making it on the grill this summer. That was what I did a lot. My kids liked it better.
Yeah.
And how about our location? We have to give a shout out that we have North Park Lake in the back.
Larry's Choice.
Well, this
Where else
is
do you
kind of the
tailgate?
central, you know, you talk about, everybody knows in this region, the boathouse.
Yes.
And they have, you know, over the bar the
Yeah.
restaurant that looks out over the lake.
Gorgeous. Yeah.
It's a bicycle place.
Yeah.
But there's no bikes in
No
there.
bikes.
But this is kind of where everybody congregates. I've been coming here since junior high school to meet people.
Right. But you're right.
Not when
It's
it's
so
the
true.
32 degrees.
The Kaufman's
true.
clock of the north, right?
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Right.
So awesome. So Larry, here's how it works.
All right.
Wherever we were before, because everything in Pittsburgh deserves a tailgate. Therefore, we visit these different places. We were at the farmers market over at the block Northway, and Jamie over there, who's doing an amazing farmers market, gave us the week before, which was the Wahlburgers gift card, which we're giving you. So you have to give us some. Yeah, it's really yours.
So next
you
week
have
we're
to
gonna
give
tailgate.
us-
Let me see.
Yeah.
And while you're thinking of that, we remind everybody, if you're watching this, put in the comments below what you think we should tailgate. Everything in Pittsburgh
it
deserves a Toyota tailgate.
Yeah.
Whether, again, we lost your job, you got married, you had a baby, whatever, we want to tailgate it.
John
All right.
goes to the negative. We're going to bring a beautiful Toyota
Had a baby
to
is a
the tailgate.
positive.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah, but you always say
For
lost your
most.
job.
Thanks for the Wahlburgers. That's
Yeah,
really
you're
cool.
welcome,
Now,
Lair.
I got to think about it. I'll have to call Amy Mock, who runs
Yes,
all our
smart.
promotions at Entercom.
Smart.
So we need to get in touch with her. I'm
Yeah.
sure she could dig up a 1976 bumper sticker or something in the prize
That's my
closet.
year.
Something-
I'm a bicentennial baby, 1976.
Maybe a picture of the KDKA rainbow machine or something,
That's
right?
it.
Yeah, right.
You'll get something next place.
Which is apparently at a nudist camp on some island. They
Is that-
bought it. Yeah, they shipped it.
Oh, for crying out loud, Larry. I believe everything he says.
It's perfect.
Larry, we
Great.
next.
Well, John, thank you.
We have to get you on the
Thank
podcast
you.
next. This
Yep.
was fine, but we need an extended
Reminding
talk.
right. Everybody needs to listen to Kevin Battle and Larry Richert on KDK 1020 AM and as of
100.1 FM, a new century of broadcasting.
I love it.
Thanks,
That's
Larry.
perfect.